Hey y'all, I'm back with a monthly update. I have a fun beverage. It's a carbonated water with a flavored white vinegar and some honey. The white vinegar is peach. Got water, which is also fun because I've been putting like lemons and cucumbers and stuff in my water. Yum. Okay. After the hydration. So if you've watched any of my monthly updates, I have slowly been transforming in them. And this month was the ultimate transformation. I guess maybe it's not. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens from here. What else can I transform in? But I decided I am so much more than what I spend my money on. It does not matter how much I spend a month because I am so much more than that. So the focus of these monthly updates are on things I feel, experience, read, finish, and more because I am more, and I am more than enough, and I am more than the amount of money I spend. I just think there's so much more to me than what my budget is or what I spent my money on. Like, some of this is what I spent my money on, but some of it is just what I thought, what I felt, what I heard, like what I experienced. So that's so much more. So let's start off the month of April. I started off by going to an Easter egg hunt at my local state park. Really well put out. They had, each kid got like a set amount of eggs. Basically, they did it by color. So each kid got one color of each egg plus an animal egg. And one of the prizes was they got a big prize. So really cool. And I met up with my daughter's friend's mom. And we've been kind of like, at this point, we had been like testing the waters. Like she kept coming to my daughter's birthdays, and like she worked with my daughter at one point, my oldest daughter, and like she was a really nice lady, and like we kept like almost becoming really friendly. And this is where we like realized we had a lot in common. And so on that day we made plans to go hiking the next week. So we went, we'll get to that. And then I went to the dermatologist. I am skin cancer free, which is really good because my mom had really bad skin cancer. And if you think it's because she didn't wear sunblock, I asked her, and she used to baby oil it up and go bake in the sun. So that's why she had skin cancer, unfortunately. So I am skin cancer free, but I have been having like really bad hormonal acne on my chin, and the doctor started me on tretinoin. So that's what I started that this month. I started really slow. I started 1 day a week, and then I'm currently at 2 days a week, and it does decrease my acne when I use it. But since I'm only using it 2 days a week right now, like I still am getting acne pretty religiously on my chin. It's like, but it is slowly decreasing those dark spots. They're much smaller. I am a little scared it's gonna decrease my freckles though, so we'll see. So then Easter came, and I had a really triggering Easter. In one of my vlogs, I sort of talked about it, but like, the basis of it is I was accepting someone's love because it was all I was offered. And I realized if I want more, I have to stop accepting less. So I'm no longer going to accept triggering abusive love. Whew. I'm getting shaky. And I am going to start giving myself the love I deserve instead of accepting not love from other people, because it's not love. Not when you're jokingly hitting people and stuff. It's not love. So I'm going to stop accepting that. And I have already stopped accepting that. And it did lead to a triggering husband's birthday, not because of anything my husband did or my kids did or anything I did, but outside sources. And again, it did lead to, I'll talk about it, but it did lead to some lessons inside me coming up and some deep realizations, which was a great thing. But it's also making me realize the boundaries need to get even harder. So the boundaries have slowly becoming even more enforced with certain people in our lives. So it was a major release for all of this, and I have been also going inward then, but also my husband, I love the man to death, but he's not a good communicator, and I love communication. And so, like, I'll say like 3 paragraphs and he'll say 1 word back. So it's something I've asked him to work on, and I can't keep nagging him about it and keep asking him to change. So I keep going inward when this happens, and I am just at the point where, like, it's almost like I can get through it in 5 minutes flat and then not be triggered anymore, because that's how often I am working on this feeling. So good for me. I'm so proud. I'm also, it's just a lot of release. It's just a lot of release. The feeling of being ignored, like, and not valued and not cared for is a lot of release. Which is ironic because I'm going to try and get this out today. But today is May 1st and it is the full moon. All about release. So then, some things that, like, really, like, this is all gonna come back in full circle later, but there are times where I literally just, like, almost like my tears are an alarm system and are telling me something's important, and I just feel like what I'm crying about is, like, important to the future and I need to pay attention to it. And so some of the things that happened were a song that, since the first time I've heard it, it's made me cry, and it just continues to, like, it's, every time I hear it, it's like, listen, this is very important. Every time my body is telling me it's very important. But the Course, the song The Course by Ayla Norero, just, I will call the rain, and I won't make my granddaughters do it. I will do it. I will be the cycle breaker. And I will be the course through which Source will find a way. So, very, oh, just wow. Very powerful stuff. I saw a video of people running races, but then, like, grabbing their kids at the end and finishing the race. And I, like, my daughter is fast. My youngest daughter is fast. And I just have a picture of her at the end of the race one time and me just being like, now go, and then me just busting butt to try and keep up with her. Oh, I'm gonna cry. See? Oh, it happens even when I'm just thinking about it. The song, I'm gonna probably keep crying because all of this stuff is important. I went back to Ibiza by Mike Posner. Oh, I'm gonna cry again. All I know are love songs. Because he used to, the old, I'm crying so bad, oh my gosh. The old lyrics were, all I know are sad songs. And oh my god, do I relate to these so much. And, like, his lyric, I just want to offer what I got to the world and then go back home. I just resonate so fully with it. Like, I understand Mike Posner. I understand. And then I've talked about her on my channel before, but Rituals by Michaela, she's got me every time. Even today, like, I didn't really fully resonate with her video, but there was parts of it that I was like, oh girl, I get you. I get it. But she had written something that said, this path is not a surface level path. It's deeply authentic. requiring every part of you to be on board with this new energy. And who I am becoming is big, and it's deeply authentic, right? And I just need to let go of what's not going to be on board with that new energy, because who I am becoming is full of compassion and does not have any hate in her heart. I saw a snippet on YouTube of a scene in Evan Almighty between Lauren Graham and Morgan Freeman. I have cried over this multiple times. I have told my new mom friend about it, and I cried while telling her. She got goosebumps while I was talking about it. Literally, I just think about this and I'm like overwhelmed with like the truth to it. And it's when, I'm gonna cry, when Lauren Graham, like, I did not expect this video to be like this. I'm so sorry. When Lauren Graham was sitting in the diner and Morgan Freeman comes out and she's like she's questioning everything. And Morgan Freeman says, "It sounds like an opportunity." And he says, "If you pray for patience, does God give you patience? Or does he give you the opportunity to find patience?" I don't like that he says he, because I don't believe God is a he. But if you're asked to be closer to your family, does God make you closer to your family? Or does God give you the opportunity to love your family? Oh my gosh. I am telling you what. I gotta pause. Well, I guess you can see how deeply these messages affect me, because they're affecting me just as I'm like reading them out. How they're important, you know? Let's move on to something that's gonna make me cry less. I went on a hike with my mom friend, and we went on our first hike together, and we talked about the idea that money is made up and not abundance. Money is not abundance, but is false security, and true security comes from within, not external sources. And so you see men like Donald Trump who have mass amounts of wealth but are deeply insecure, and they are trying to get even more wealth, even more gold, even more security from external sources. And honestly, I feel sad for him. I feel sad for him to be so insecure that he has to lie and cheat and just be an all around not very good human person. I would rather be a good person, you know? So I have been focusing on this idea that money is not really necessary to life. Like, in our current system, yes, you need money to live. But in the ultimate grand schemes of the universe, you do not need money to live. It is not a necessary to life. Like, if we all gave up money, if everyone gave up money, no one would die from the lack of money. No one would wither away because they didn't have enough money. If we all just found ourselves to be enough, then there would be no need for money, right? Because you're always looking for something to fill that gap. But really cool conversation. Second hike, we talked about, it snowed actually, and then we talked about self-love and not accepting less versions of love, but accepting more. Refuse those French fries. Get pasta instead. Tell the universe you don't want the love you are given just because it's given to you. You want more. by not accepting that love. Whew. Our third hike, we talked of going inward instead of asking others to change, aka blaming the external circumstances. I don't have enough money. I don't have. Someone's always nagging me. Someone's always telling me I'm not enough. Like, I'd rather go inward and not give someone else my power. If I am triggered by someone else, they have power over me, and I don't want to give them that power. So our fourth hike, we talked a lot about fitness and being stronger, not smaller. We also exchanged a ton of recipe ideas. I have been seeing the universe at work in the others' lives and mine, but I have been seeing it in others' lives even if they don't believe it at all. Like new friends and old friends, but also like creators here on YouTube. Linda Sun, she's like a runner and she talks about running, but currently she's doing like a triathlon. But man, sometimes I just hear the universe speaking through her, and I'll just be bawling my eyes out to her videos. I don't know how many times I've just cried to her videos. Chelsea Putnam, who does these musings, and she talked about how she had to change her inner world for her outer world to change. I related to that completely. It was very nice to hear other people talking about going inward instead of outward. And one of the ones that I was honestly, I didn't want to watch at first because she's one of the fastest runners in Britain, and I thought that would make me feel bad and that I would compare myself to her. But Philly Bowden, she actually, oh wow, she is literally like, not only does she talk about like not comparing yourselves to others, but oh my gosh, she's made so many videos. Like one I just watched was her 26-year-old self talking to her 2016-year-old self, and oh, did it give me perspective. But then there was also like, she made a video about like, should you be running a marathon? And oh, it's just nice. It's just nice and refreshing, and she's just genuinely a good human being to watch, and I enjoy her fully. And I'll talk about it. Oh wait, do I see it? I'll talk about it again, but I see the universe at work in her life. But I see the alignment fully, and I'm getting more comfortable talking about my faith. I've been talking about it more on YouTube. I've also not been hiding it with people. One of the things that I had decided was like, when I moved to Oregon, I was gonna stop hiding my faith, and that's not how the universe works. The universe says before you go to Oregon, you must stop hiding your faith, because you have to become the person before you can go there. So I am no longer hiding my faith, and it is scary. But I'm feeling my faith with less fear and even more trust. So it's coming out. One day I went shopping with my youngest. She had the day off from school, and we went and did our grocery shopping, and we had a Panda lunch, and we just had some adult conversations. Like, I told her that like, when I snap at her, I feel like the worst mom on the planet, and that really affected her, and we had a really good conversation about that. But then at the end of the day, my husband, we had to go get new mattress for my daughter, my youngest, and I and my husband went, and he got one of the flat carts thinking the mattress would be bigger, and it was just in a box. And so she and I like were on the cart while he was pushing it around in the store, and so we were sitting on it while he was pushing it around. It was so much fun. So many people looked at us, and I don't know if they were thinking like, what idiots or what, but some of them definitely were jealous of us, but it was so much fun. So then, since I live in Montana, there's a lot of bald eagles here. And so we went to the dump one day to get rid of her old mattress. and we saw 5 bald eagles and 1 immature bald eagle. It was so cool. And then my youngest daughter had a concert. That was really, really fun. She was really nervous, but she did a great job. And then I went to the lady doctor, and she was really great, really explained everything to me really nicely, and diagnosed me with PMDD. So even though I have my tubes tied, I have my uterine wall burned off, I'm now on birth control, and so far so good. I haven't noticed a ton of difference, but like I haven't been in my luteal week yet. That's next week, so we'll see how things continue. We got a new stove, which was great. We had to get a new stove because our old one was dying. It was like I'd have 1 pan on 1 burner, and I'd have 4 pieces of chicken in that 1 pan, and each piece of chicken was a different color. And it was totally failing. So we got the money and we just bought a new stove. So it was on sale at Costco, which was great because Costco also like delivers it, installs it, like all the, and then hauls away your old one. And we were like, fantastic, do that. And it was like $50 more than Lowe's or something like that. More bald eagles while I was out gardening. I live really close to my state park, and there's a hawk that lives over in the state park. And then there's 2 bald eagles that nest over by the creek next to my house. And the bald eagle was like enjoying the wind, circling overhead, and then the hawk came in and the eagle like chased it off, and then the eagle went and like was flying with his partner over the city. It was so cool. Which that's not the only time. I also like almost every time I go out now, I either see the hawk or the bald eagle. Also, as I've been going out like to these hikes and stuff, I've seen some bald eagles. In fact, on one of the hikes my friend and I did, there was a bald eagle circling over the other city that we went to. It was really cool. My husband got a new smoker for his birthday. Once again, it was failing literally. So we got it given to us by someone as a free smoker because they were replacing their old one with a new one. And then we've been using it for 6 years. So like things were breaking. He's replaced a ton of stuff. And at this point it was just like, it's time to get a new one. So he got a new one, and we threw the old one out on the side of the road. It still worked. So I don't know for how long, and maybe someone could fix it up so it works even better. But someone else got a free smoker. One of the lessons that I learned from the triggering events this month were my lack mentality, that there isn't enough, is the root of that is that the universe will not provide for me. And as I believe the universe is my higher power, that's a little sad, right? My root belief is that the universe will not provide for me. Ooh, I can feel it coming up. Oh, my stomach. Ooh, that one's big. Okay, so like right here in my solar plexus, really tight, kind of achy, kind of painful all the way through the back. And if I focus on that pain, it starts to release. But interesting, it ties into a pain in my left calf, which comes up at the same time if I continue to focus on my solar plexus. Oh. Not completely gone, but I feel a little better. Okay. I'm working on that, clearly. That's how I work on it. So, my name means Lioness of God, which, I've done... Never mind. I have been focusing on the fact that I am proud, like a lioness. I am strong, like a lioness. and I can be faster and faster like a lioness. And so I am trying to remind myself that I am a lioness and that I am strong, I am proud, and I'm fast. I have been working on reframing my mentality when it comes to workout, because I have been struggling with being like, I don't want to work out, I don't want to work out, I don't want to run, I don't want to do this. And I'm reminding myself, I get to run, I get to work out, I get to go on walks, but ultimately I am living my dream life here. I am living my wish, I'm living my prayer. Like, I wanted to be a runner so bad, and now I'm running on the weekly basis. Like, I wanted to be someone who was really fit and could lift a lot of weight, and now I am living my dream life. Not only that, but I'm like, I PR stuff every week. Like, I'm not just like stuck at one level weight. I am going up all the time. And so I'm just reminding myself that this is my dream life, and I get to live this life, and it's so rewarding. I get to go on hikes with a cool person every week. I get to talk to my friends on the phone and have good conversations. I get to work out every morning like clockwork at the same time and enjoy myself. I get to drive my dream car. I get to have an amazing family. So, all wonderful things. Some of my ruminations that, like, I heard it and then it just would not leave my brain and just, like, got stuck in there. Philly Bowden said, when the universe offers you a chance to go to Oregon, you take it. And one day the universe is going to offer me a chance to go to Oregon, and I am going to take it. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to shy away. I will be ready, because I am becoming the person I want to be who lives in Oregon. And that leads to the next one. Sarah Hall, she does angel messages. But she said, manifestation isn't something you get. It's something you become. I have to become someone who lives in Oregon in order to live in Oregon. So I'm doing that in lots of ways. Lots of little ways, lots of big ways. And I am doing that. I realize that when I'm comparing myself to others, the deep-rooted feeling there is that I am not enough, and therefore, the universe will not provide for me because I'm not enough. But also, when I'm judging other journeys, my deep down belief is that they aren't enough either. So it's not just me being not enough, it's everybody else. No one's enough in my eyes, or anybody's eyes at this point, to be honest. I don't believe there's a single person on that planet that doesn't believe they are not enough and that everyone else is not enough. So, but my new affirmation has been focusing on, like, when I catch myself judging someone, it's reminding myself that, you know, they are enough. My husband is enough. My kids are enough. The person on the internet is enough. The person judging themselves on the internet is exactly where they need to be, and they are enough. My first Halara order came in, and I love the joggers so much that I ordered 2 more pairs in black to wear as an everyday. I've been trying to find leggings that fit my butt and don't roll down at the waistband. And who would have thought that joggers would have been my solution? Because the Halara joggers are like legging material. They do have cuffs at the ankle, but I don't mind that. And they do have a tie band, but I could take that out if I wanted to. I'm real stoked about it. My husband has an aunt by relation of some way or another who lives in Switzerland. And when I was on Facebook, she loved everything I posted. And she became one of my biggest fans. And then when I got off Facebook, we stayed in touch. And she knows that I'm currently burned out from college and not doing it. And she recently sent me a message just checking in and asked if I was looking into college or anything. And she said, "You have a lot to offer the world." Which I say to myself all the time, but not often do I hear someone else say it to me. And not only that, but it's deeply ingrained in my brain because my therapist, when I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, she goes, "What do you have to offer the world?" And oh, that made me so sick. I can still bring up the feeling in my stomach, how sick that made me to think that I had anything to offer the world. And now I know I have a lot to offer the world. And I tell myself regularly that I have a lot to offer the world, but to have someone else acknowledge that I have a lot to offer the world was, oh, it was nice. It was nice. I ran the miles for a 5K for the first time ever, which is great because I want to run a 5K in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. This week my body has been needing a break, and so I haven't been running, but we'll see how next week goes. And if not, there's always the week after that, which is my race, so we'll get there. And then I just had like a really profound realization about the first person to reach unity consciousness. And I'm not going to share it because it won't make any sense to anyone else, but it hit me deep. Moving on to, that was everything I experienced, felt, heard, blah, blah. That was important to me this month. And we're moving on to finished products. I finished a Dove conditioner, which I bought a Kirkland replacement. I finished some Dubai chocolate cones. Those like, you know, those like, they're like Muddy Buddy cones or something like that. That's not it. But they're basically supposed to be those like the end of a dumbbell cones. What are those called? Drumstick cones. Drumsticks, not dumbbells. You know where my brain's at, clearly. Drumstick cones, but they're supposed to be like that, but they were like Dubai chocolate. They were good, but they weren't very pistachio-y. They were more like a cream. They were good. But I didn't buy a replacement. I did finish the regular Dubai chocolates, and I did buy a replacement for just Dubai chocolate in general. I finished a Vuori shampoo bar. I have another one, so I don't need a replacement. And then when I do finish it, we're just gonna, my husband and I will share Kirkland shampoo and conditioner. So we'll just do that. I finished 2 bottles of magnesium between me, my husband, and my youngest daughter. And I already bought replacements. I finished an iron supplement. I'm not going to buy a replacement until I've done my wellness check in August. I finished a trial size face wash. I'm not buying another replacement. I finished a Febreze. I bought a replacement. I finished my car chapstick. I like scooped out as much as I could too with my nail. And I did have a replacement, but then I realized I also needed a chapstick for my running vest because I've been going out and then I need chapstick and I don't have any in my running vest. And my daughter has been asking for chapstick, so we just bought a pack from Costco. So now I do have quite a few replacements of the chapsticks. I finished a Bix lighter. I have replacements, so I don't need them. And I finished a deodorant, which fantastic because my husband, we had bought him a supply and then he forgot, and so then he asked me to buy a deodorant and I went to put it away and I found his supply and I was like, listen up, sir. And so he's on a no buy for deodorant and I'm using men's deodorant now. I finished 2 books this month, but this month, because last month I was like, there were so many quotes that I really related to and then I couldn't remember any of them, so I wrote quite a few of them down this month. The first book I finished was the 4th book of the Eragon series, the Christopher Paolini books. I finished Inheritance. I give that like a 4.5. I do not give it a 5 stars because I don't like the ending. I waited 4 books for romance, and I got no romance. No romance. Christopher Paolini, I am mad at you for how you ended their relationship. So, 4.5. There was no romance. But some of the quotes that I absolutely loved. Mastery ultimately comes from within, not without. Beautiful. All I've been talking about. While Aragorn was meditating, the quote was, another thought or sensation would threaten to distract him. Oh, that's just meditating for you. He had a vision and he teared up crying and couldn't understand the emotional reaction. You literally saw it in action earlier. I cry and cannot understand the emotional reaction because it just literally feels like future information. It does not feel like right now information. It feels like it's going to be important to the future. So, me and Aragorn, we just crying and we have no idea why, and we know it's important to the future. And we're seeing visions of it too. Galbatrax says, nothing's harder than changing one's own self. Whew, is that true, man? There was a quote, he did not hate or fear the wilderness, he found it restorative. Beautiful, samesies. He had a scalp tingle at the realization that the world is round, and I often have scalp tingles, like full body tingles, scalp tingles at like profound realizations about my faith, about myself, about the world in general. There were true names in there, and they were trying to figure out his true name, and he said, I am not who I was, but I know who I am. Yes. Yes. There were dragon consciousness, like helping guide situations to like bring Aragorn to exactly where he needed to be and getting the dragon egg to him and all this stuff. And sometimes people would even notice those forces. I was like, ooh, divine at work. I noted a lot of commonalities between Jumpt and Galbatrax. And it reminded me of something we studied in psychology, the demagogue script. And if you're interested in that, there's lots of stuff on the internet. Okay. The spell to stop Galbatrax was an empathy spell to make him feel all the pain he had ever inflicted on anyone. Can we borrow that? Someone said, the world is about to change, and the reply was, the world has already changed. And I see that every day. The world has already changed, and the world is continuing to change. Murdoch told Aragorn to teach new writers not to fear. I find that's important. We have to release our old fears to learn new things. He said, it's enough to be a writer. I need nothing more. Ah, I love that. It's enough. He's enough as he is, you know? Someone said, you have grown much since we first met. And he replied, I had to. Samesies, dude. Samesies. This one's really like was divine to me, but the months passed quick and slow for Aragorn. Quick and slow, the quickening. Someone said to him, perhaps you were God's instrument for removing him being Galbatrax, and said, did you ever consider that? That reminds me of The Course by Aylin Herrera, when you are the instrument for which you are the course through which Source will find a way. Like, Aragorn was just like the course through which Source found a way. he was talking, they were talking about how Aragorn was going to stay in check with his power and who was going to keep him in check because he was so powerful, right? And he said, I need no master to punish me in order to behave as I ought. Like, I love that because, like, to me, I don't need some man in the sky to tell me I'm gonna go to a bad place for eternity in order to behave as I need to as a good human being. I don't need a higher power to be compassionate. I don't need a higher power to do the right thing. I can do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, right? So, like, I fully felt that one. And then the final line, or one of the final things Saphira said in the book that just, ooh, I felt it, was, we're not alone, little one. And I just, if you know, you know. And then I finished one more book, Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. I have tried one other of her books that I did end up DNFing and getting rid of. This one I read all the way through. It's in my maybe pile for keeping. The first like 3 chapters were like Bridgerton meets fantasy, and then all Bridgerton went out the window and it was just fantasy, which I was a little bummed about. And then it was kind of based on the concept of the 7 sins, which I don't believe in. So it was a little like, it was also a little hard to get because jealousy and envy are 2 different emotions, and they kept just like equating the 2 as the same thing. And so I had some qualms with the book, but overall, pretty good book. I'd say 3.75, only because like it was really had a good plot of the Bridgerton meets fantasy, and then all Bridgerton went right out the window, and I was like, what the heck, man? So some of the quotes, I only found 3 quotes in that book that I really loved, but some doors were not meant to be opened. The first time I ever did his hypnosis, all I saw was a door, and all I heard was, don't open the door. So that was like one of those things that I was like, interesting. Quote they kept saying is, I am not led, I lead. I love that. I'm the leader in my family. I'm the leader in my life. I lead myself. I am not led, I am called, and I follow the call. And then, it is only when we are trapped in complete darkness that our true selves are revealed. And I believe it is only in darkness that we can find source. So if you do not go to the darkness within yourself, it will be much harder to find true divinity within. But it's there. Some things I'm looking forward to next month. My 5K race, that's in 2 weeks. My birthday is at the end of May. The weather has been so nice. I literally was out hiking in a crop top and some lightweight hiking pants yesterday. Incredible. Felt amazing. We ordered a new couch. It is sitting in the shipping warehouse. The shipping company picked it up, put it in their warehouse, and they're just holding it hostage because they don't want us to have our couch. That's not true, but that's how I feel. And then also leggings that fit and don't roll down are coming. So that was the month of April. What I'm looking forward to the month of May. What a fun, exciting month. I'm loving this style. Keeping it up for sure. We'll see if it evolves at all, but it's like having a literal diary of what I did for the month. And I literally don't care if anybody watches this, because I'm going to be able to look back on my notes for the whole year and see what I did, but also like my kids are going to be able to look back on this one day and be like, oh yeah, we went and did that Easter egg hike or whatever. Yeah, so just really stoked about this style of video. So that's all I have for you. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, as always, to be kind to yourself.